Okay, I think we should be online. There we go. Let's see how it works. It's a little bit last minute preparations here by me. I'm having a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, so today there'll be no questions and answers after because I have to keep on preparing a little bit for tomorrow. But we have enough time to do a sitting. There's always time to sit. It's just a matter of how long you have to sit. I'm going to turn off my phone. Go. So, I hope everyone's having a great week here in Sweden. It's spring, absolutely amazing weather. It's the middle of May and it feels like it's like high summer here. It doesn't normally get much better than this in Sweden. So it feels very nice to just be able to enjoy the weather a little bit, just sit outside and it's spring. I remember when I was in Sri Lanka, one of the disadvantages of living in a tropical zone like that is that it's always good weather. It's like it would either be 30 degrees or 35 degrees. If anything, it was too warm. And then they had the rainy season, and then it was still the same temperature. It's just it rained the whole time. It was very damp and humid, but it was pretty much always warm. So you didn't have the same feeling as you have here in Sweden when you have the seasons, and then you have summer, and then it's really nice to be outside, and everyone's out. And like Swedish people, as soon as it gets warm, we just like take off all our clothes and just go around in t-shirts or shorts. Because it's just so warm when we waited for it so long, and then it's fall and we keep on wearing shorts and t-shirts, and then wintertime comes and it's dark. Like I think December, January, February tends to be the darkest months. Then it's really dark and everyone stays inside. There's snow and slush, and then spring comes and everyone goes out again, and you start really appreciating like, oh, it's actually really nice weather today. And like today it's just amazing weather outside, and then it's really nice to be out and appreciate it. But when you have nice weather the whole time, it's more difficult to really be to be appreciative of it, because it doesn't feel like it's anything special. I mean, it's always good weather. Whereas when you don't have good weather all the time, then you really take advantage of it. So that's one of the nice things about having seasons, is that you actually do get to appreciate them more than if you would just have summer the whole time. I don't know if anyone watching has the same thing. I know that there's a lot of people who come from Asia, and then it's the same as when I was in Sri Lanka. It's just good weather all of the time. Most of the time, I should say. Otherwise, let's see, today's Mondays. Oh, let me see, I'm going to turn off my computer is on turbo mode because I was editing the video for next weekend, and then the fans just kick on and it's like sitting in a engine room of some boat or something. Hopefully it'll slow down. So yeah, what was I saying? Yes, Mondays, guided meditation. Today we'll do just a normal basic breathing meditation where we'll focus on the breath. We'll do the normal counting meditation. For those of you who are new, we usually sit for around 5 to 10 minutes before, get settled in, and then we sit for 20 minutes. Normally there's a question and answer after, but today there won't be because I have to actually keep on fixing until tomorrow, so I don't have time for it today. But we'll have questions and answers on Thursday instead, so you can always come back then. There's one more thing that I need. I just realized. Oops. Let's see. We need the bell. There we go. Okay. So, we begin with doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which basically is that we focus on the things around us. I'm going to turn on my cooling. It's a little bit too warm in here. So, We begin by focusing on 5 things that we can see around us. Then we'll do 4 things that we can touch, 3 things that we can hear, 2 things that we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. And we do that to come back to our senses, so that when we actually do sit and focus on our breath in the meditation, we already started by coming back to our senses, and it's a little bit easier to get going when you come at it from that way. I'm not sure, is the sound from the fan? Let me see if I can turn it down. So, I think it should be as low noise as possible right now. So, I hope it doesn't disturb you too much. Anyway, we'll focus with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Then we'll do 20 minutes of sitting guided. So first of all, we take 5 things that you can see. I can see a chimney through my window. I see a door lock. I see the door. I see a sound dampening board and a lamp. And it's important that you say it out aloud, not because that has any magical properties, but the idea is that you want to intentionally stop and come to your senses. So by saying it out aloud, that helps with becoming aware. If you're in a place where you can't talk aloud, then that's fine, just say it to yourself, but be sure to stop and really notice what you're observing. So then we take 4 things that we can feel. I can feel the carpet on the floor. I feel the mouse from my computer. I feel this metal rod standing here, and I can feel the rubber on the cable to my microphone. And then it gets a bit more nuanced or like you have to focus a bit more to notice the last 3 senses. So we focus on 3 things that we can hear. And I can hear the fan of the air conditioner. I hope it doesn't disturb you too much. And there's a hum of some kind of motor. I think that's again the air conditioner sounding. And there's a wasp or a fly flying against the window here. There's 3 things that you can hear, and then 2 things that you can smell. You can smell chewing gum. And tea. And then after that we do 1 thing that we can taste. And the 1 thing that I can taste, it's my rooibos tea. So just start by sitting in a position where you feel comfortable. You can be sitting up, lying down. You could even be walking, but the most important part is that you're sitting in a position where you feel comfortable. Obviously, if you're closing your eyes, be sure that you're not doing anything that is not healthy to do with your eyes closed. And today we're going to do a breathing meditation, so we're going to bring our awareness back to our breath. So I want you to start focusing on your breath as it's coming in and going out of your body. Just start becoming aware of breath happening inside of you. As you're breathing in and breathing out, just bring your awareness into your body and feel as you're breathing in and out. for this particular meditation, we're trying to have a wide awareness of our breath. We're trying to be aware of breath happening in the whole upper torso area. So, to make it easier to observe the breath, we're going to do a technique where we count from 1 to 8 and then down from 8 to 1. And the reason we do that is because it's easier to stay aware of the breath as it's happening. So I'll count together with you from 1 to 8 and then down to 8 to 1. And then you can start doing it by yourself. And we'll continue together. So breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. 2. Breathing in and breathing out. 3. Breathing in and breathing out. 4. Breathing in and breathing out. 5. Breathing in and breathing out. 6. Breathing in and breathing out. 7. Breathing in and breathing out. 8. Breathing in and breathing out. 7. Breathing in and breathing out. 6. Breathing in and breathing out. 5. Breathing in and breathing out. 4. Breathing in and breathing out. 3. Breathing in and breathing out. 2. Breathing in and breathing out. 1. Now just continue observing your breath as you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. In this meditation, we're not trying to control our breath. This is not breath work or some kind of breathing exercise where we try to manipulate the breath. Instead, we're trying to step aside and just let breath happen by itself. So what we're trying to do is just stand to the side and observe breath happening. When I do the counting and I breathe in and breathe out, is not actually how you're supposed to breathe in this meditation. I just do that to clarify so that it'll be easier for you to follow along. But when you're actually breathing, just let breath happen and see how it moves. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it fast? Is it slow? There's not really a right or wrong here. Breath is just breath, and breath is happening. So just keep on observing your breath and see how it changes from when you start and as you go along. And just observe your breath as you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. If you find yourself counting 15, 16, 17, don't get upset. It's perfectly fine. All you have to do is just go back and start over again. The best way to make sure that you have a poor meditation that won't give you anything is by becoming upset at not being able to make your mind do what you want it to. Instead, what we're trying to do is just notice when we drift away and come back. And the more times you do that, the easier it will be to be aware of your breath. So it's not about how many times you can go from 1 to 8 and 8 to 1. The only thing you need to focus on is just observing and noticing when you're drifting away and then come back. Over and over again. Just come back to your breath and start over, counting as you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes when you're sitting, there will be an itch, or maybe there's a little bit of pain somewhere. Whenever you feel that, oh, it's itching, I need to scratch, or I need to move my leg because there's a little bit of pain. Again, we're not trying to hurt ourselves. If you're actually hurting yourself, then obviously move. But otherwise, just see if you can sit and observe. What does it feel like to want to itch? That place where it's itching, on the knee, on the shoulder, by your foot, wherever it is, just feel that itch as you're dividing your awareness on the breath and just letting that itch stay there. And see if you can stay with the breath for just another minute. Just let your little toe itch for one more minute and keep your awareness on your breath. And after that minute is gone, see if it's changed. Maybe the itch is gone. If it's not, then see, can you sit one more minute? And if you can't, then see, what about just 10 more seconds? I'm just going to sit 10 more seconds with my little toe itching. And then you feel, no, I can't sit more. Then just try one more second. And then you say, no, I can't do that either. Then that's fine. Just itch, move your foot, do whatever you need to do. Don't feel bad about it. It's not a test. You don't get any golden stars for sitting longer with the itch. It's just an exercise to feel, what does it feel like to be uncomfortable? We are so used to just move and be persuaded by every single thing that makes us feel uncomfortable. So actually staying with uncomfortableness and seeing that it's not as dangerous as you think it is a really useful exercise. So if you feel an itch, just see if you can sit with it for a little bit longer as you're observing your breath, breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Sometimes the mind is very active and it's difficult to stay with the breath. Other times when you sit, the mind is calm and pliable and does exactly what you ask it to do. It's easy to think that when the mind is calm, you're doing something right. And when the mind is rattled and moving around, you're doing something wrong. This is not the case. The mind simply does what it does based on what stimuli it's gotten. Sometimes it just runs off on a tangent because it feels like it, and it's almost like it's a separate entity just spitting out thoughts. And it's important to not become too attached to what it does, but simply observe it and see that, wow, right now my mind is running around everywhere and I can't stop it. If you can't stop it, then just stand to the side and see what happens. And eventually you'll start seeing a separation, saying that, wait a minute, how can I observe my thoughts if I am my thoughts? That must mean I am not my thoughts. So you stand to the side and the mind will gradually calm down. Doesn't mean that you did anything right or anything wrong. The mind just does what it does. And all you need to do is just keep coming back over and over and over again to your breath as you're breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out. Normally we do a question and answer after the sitting, but today I unfortunately have to leave, so questions and answers will have to wait until Thursday. I hope you'll have a good week, and I'll see you again on Thursday.